Hello, I'm IBX Toycat, and a lot of people have been requesting in the comment sections of other videos that I do another personal story, because I haven't done one in quite a while, and I figure a cool opportunity to do that would be that recently I went on a trip/holiday to Ireland and Northern Ireland, and I figure a cool, thing to do would be tell you guys about the more interesting moments, the cooler moments, and the weirder moments about it in a video form, so hopefully you enjoy that sort of thing. So, first of all, let me just quickly clarify, I went to both Ireland and Northern Ireland. If you do know Ireland, I went to Dublin and Belfast. If you don't know, basically the Ireland is a separate island from the rest of the UK. The top 1/6 of Ireland is called Northern Ireland. It's its own separate country, but it's part of the UK. It's a big mess. And the bottom 5/6 is not part of the UK and has a tiny bit of hatred there, but that's what's going on. So basically, I had to get a plane to go across there, obviously, because there's a big ocean in between. And to get to the plane, I had to get about 3 hours of train. So I figured, play it safe. Let's get a train which is, like a significant amount of hours before the plane. That way, we're safe. We can just chill at the airport, because airports are pretty cool places. Somehow the first train gets delayed, then replaced with a taxi, and the second train stopped for an hour with the lights off besides like one, which made me think I was going to get murdered or whatever. But yeah, I eventually got there, despite leaving 5 hours between when the train should have arrived and when the plane left. I got there and there was like less than 2 hours left, so that was kind of weird on the safe side, but it worked out in the end. The airport's a cool place. I really like airports, as I said, because they have arcades. Got to play Mario Kart in the arcade, and it's weird playing with a steering wheel, and it's an entirely separate game made by Namco. But I think airports in general are cool. I really like arcades. I think nothing is subjected to taxes because it's no one's land. I don't understand that, but you can buy cigarettes if that's your thing. You can just buy food, and yeah, I kind of like airports. So yeah, got the flight, then I went to Belfast, and it was super late. So even though I left at like midday, got there super late, just went to sleep, and then started the next day. So because while I was in Belfast, or near Belfast, it's technically like an island, it's really cool and weird. But basically I was staying with my dad, who lives next to some form of sea. I think it's the Scottish Sea, Irish Sea, something like that. But basically there is a barbecue house really close to the sea, and basically it's a really cool concept I didn't know about. I think it's a Viking thing, where in the middle of the room, you barbecue your stuff, and because obviously it's not made for, it's like a shed size, but obviously it's not made from wood, so like, it's like, it heats up the room, and then the smoke goes out the chimney and stuff. It's a cool idea, just barbecue in the middle of the room. A little weird. I was really scared that we'd all die of carbon monoxide poisoning or something. So I had a Viking barbecue, which is kind of cool, and I don't think many people can say, and I think it's a weird concept. Maybe it was also because, by the way, this is November, so this is like while it's freezing cold outside, like there's a room full of barbecue and stuff, which is it's a unique experience. So the rest of Northern Ireland's kind of cool and stuff, what I saw anyway. But then like early the next day, had to go on a train, hop down to Dublin, because I wanted to go to a foreign country, and Ireland is technically a foreign country to the UK, even though it barely is, because they used to be together. It's like a divorced couple that share a kid, except countries. But so yeah, basically got the train down, and this is an interesting thing. So like as you go past the border, because I went past the border from where it goes from the UK to actually being Ireland, a whole separate country, and this is a really weird thing, and I have no explanation for it, but the grass genuinely gets greener when you're in Ireland. So when they say the grass is always greener on the other side, I guess it's actually true, but it's talking about the Irish border apparently. So while I was on the train, I also got a train burger, which is apparently a thing, a really tasty thing, and an Irish drink, and then eventually got to the train station in Ireland. So you can kind of immediately tell you're somewhere else, because all the money is different, everyone has the accent, and it's kind of like a cool thing being surrounded by it. And yeah, so the train station's in a really nice area, and the hotel I'm staying at is quite a nice hotel, and it's in a nice area, but everything in between is like the scariest thing I've ever walked through. Like there's I don't know how to describe it. Like there was cat poo in the street. I don't know how that's even a thing. And yeah, it was kind of a scary walk over there. But then we got the hotel because we figure let's drop down our bags and stuff. And just quickly, this is something I'm pretty sure all hotels do. My last hotel didn't, but I'm pretty sure most hotels must do it. But we got a key card which allows us to get around the place. Like you need it for everything though. So for your lights in your room to work, you need the key card. To open your door, of course, you need the key card. And that's a kind of a cool thing. But the elevator needed a key card. So my key card, because we each got a key card, me and my girlfriend Alice, basically my key card wouldn't actually work half the time, so like I'd slot it into the elevator and try to get back up when I was like coming back back to the room, and like it just wouldn't work. So I pressed the button, but it wouldn't work because there was no key card. So someone else would call the elevator I was in, and it would go down to the -1 floor, and I'd go up to the first floor. Someone else would get in, and I'd get like kind of lifted around till I finally got to the right floor because my key card wouldn't work. And it was kind of weird, fun, cool, I guess you could say, because being in an elevator, just saying hello to strangers, being stuck there for a while is not something you think of in a hotel. But I eventually got back there, and yeah, the hotel's a really nice place otherwise and stuff. But yeah, so the first day, because it's kind of just fairly late in the day, it's like 4 or 5 p.m. now, we decide to go to the city centre, Temple Bar, I think it's called. If you're from Ireland, you know where that is. If you're not, then it's kind of like the centre of the city centre, and it's like it's where the culture is strongest or something like that. And there's this really famous like bar, pub, whatever you call it, in the centre of the centre of the centre of the centre there. And so I decided to check that out just to see what's going on, because I've heard some things about it, and I went nearby it, and it's like, I figured it'd be massive because it's this big iconic thing in Ireland. But instead, it's actually just regular pub size, like I guess a house size, think about it, like a regular small house with 3 floors, and that's kind of a cool, interesting, weird thing. Like I said, I like using lots of adjectives together, because it's kind of a weird thing. So, also went around the city centre, saw some interesting, sights and stuff. Like, there's loads of culture and stuff, which I guess is to be expected from a big city in a country that's not yours. But, one thing that I found just amazing about, I think this is the only place I've ever seen it. I bet it's somewhere in America. I bet it's in other cities too, but I've never seen like multiple fast food restaurants in the same like restaurant, if that makes sense. So like you walk into a place that's like the same size as you'd see like a McDonald's restaurant, but inside is the Irish version of a McDonald's, the Irish version of a Subway, Papa John's, which is a pizza place if you don't know, and this really fancy gourmet ice cream thing. So in addition to the fact that you can just buy any of the foods from any of the people, so you'd be like, oh, I'll have a pizza, I'll have some ice cream, there are also meal deals where you can get some of each, and that is just the most incredible concept that I'm gonna gush over forever. Like, I got a pizza, I got some taco covered fries, and I got some crazy good ice cream, all in the same meal for like 12 euros, and because I don't know currencies, that doesn't mean anything to me. I was like, yeah, money. So yeah, as you can see, I'm really excited about that. But I haven't seen that anywhere else, and I think 4 restaurants in the same place is amazing, because I'm the type of dude that if I had the effort and there were places next to each other, I'd go ahead and do that myself. So that's the future. If you have one of those in your city, let me know, and I'm gonna go live there or something. So yeah, that was probably one of my weird, cool favorite moments, which is kind of sad. So after exploring the city centre a bit more, seeing what's going on, because as I said, cool city, there's a river going through it, and it kind of guides you through. We went back to the hotel for another night and decided next day we're going to Dublin Zoo, because it's not even zoo season, but zoos are cool. There are animals and stuff you can see. I'm sure you're aware of that already. But so we tried to go to the zoo. We get on the bus there because it's like Phoenix Park, which is where Dublin Zoo is, and because we're apparently public transport noobs, we sit on the bus, and as we're waiting for it to get there, the lights suddenly go off and the driver starts getting out of the bus. So we figure, actually this is probably the last stop, so we have to get off there and of course walk to the zoo. So at the zoo it's like a ridiculous amount cheaper for a student thing, and I figure, well, I'm a student in the UK, that probably counts as something, right? So I'm like, yeah, student thing, and then I hand them my student card, except they don't even look at it. They're just like, oh yeah, I guess you're a student then. And there's something kind of frustrating about that. Like, I thought I was going through the trials, and then it's like, oh no, actually, also your girlfriend's parents need too. So yeah, the zoo, it's like a cool enough place. Not a whole bunch to say of them. There's animals there. Did you know, by the way? I'm sure you actually knew. But yeah, there's a whole bunch of cool animals that you can look at, and they're doing animal things and stuff. But the main point is it's like a really uncrowded place because it's November, it's not exactly zoo season, so even like the super busy stuff, like, there's like zebras and giraffes and loads of other animals that probably shouldn't exist together, and there's like 6 people, even though it's a massive area, and like there's railing going all the way around it that you can stand on, so it's kind of cool that they were like our zebras for a little bit, you could say, or you could not say, really, it's your cool. But yeah, loads of cool animals, as I'm sure you'd expect, and there was even a machine that was meant to like crush 1-cent coin, except it didn't, because why not? And yeah, that was kind of, it was a cool place. But so we tried to get home from the place, and we have to walk to like the tram station, because there's like this train tram thing, because it's light rail, I don't even know what that means, but so we have to walk to the place, we get a little lost, and then we end up all the way in the city centre. Although because it took like an hour, we found loads of cool sites on the way, like the Jameson's distillery, the Guinness brewery, which for some reason, different word, I know why the reason is, and like just loads of cool stuff like that. So we explored the place a little more. In particular, went into loads of like the Irish exclusive shops, I guess you could say. Like there's a place where you can, it's like there's loads of oranges in a machine, and you press a button, and it like, I was going to say milks the oranges, but it doesn't milk the oranges, it juices the oranges, and like, you know, you get fresh orange juice like that and stuff like that. You get like those yard-long cups you can get for beer, but you get one of those for slush, so I got one of those for slushing things, and it was just very cold and stuff, but it's cool that that stuff is just right there in the middle of the supermarket, and I think that was really cool. So we go back to the hotel for the final night, and by the way, it was a really, really nice hotel, so like, that's a cool thing in itself. But the next day was like the longest series of public transport that I've taken. So I woke up at about 11 AM at the hotel, and to get back to my house, I had to take something like 8 separate links. So basically, walk to the train station at like 11 AM, like I said, get a train all the way up to Belfast, and then because the train was late, basically we were really, really close missing our flight, so I had to immediately run from the train to the taxi station near the train. So this is walking to the train, to the taxi, had to get the taxi to the bus station, got to the bus station with 4 minutes to spare, then had to grab a bus all the way to the airport, which is quite away from the city centre, by the way, if you're wondering. But yeah, so got the bus to the airport, got to the airport something like 7 minutes before the gate for our flight closed. It was really, really close. Remember how I had 2 hours earlier? This time, 7 minutes. Luckily, the security queue was 0 people, like a new line opened up just for us. I have no idea how that, you know, the odds work like that. But yeah, so we managed to make the flight back. So got on a plane, got from the plane to 2 sets of trains, because, you know, the train doesn't go directly to my house, and then I had to get a bus from that to my house. So that is walking to get a train to a taxi to a bus to a plane to a train to a train to a bus, and yeah, it was kind of, it was just a day of public transport. So that was why I was just so drained that day, and that's why I mentioned it on the podcast. So if you enjoyed this little video talking about my little story, it was only like 4 days in Ireland, then let me know with a like, and also in the comments, because, you know, I'm probably going to go back to Ireland at some point. I'm going to explore a lot of the world. It's kind of what I want to do at this point. So if you want to hear like synopses whenever I do it, because it's kind of an important part of my life, let me know. If you didn't find it that entertaining, let me know also with the comments down below. Thank you for watching the video. Like it if you liked it, share it if you really liked it. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.